I'm here on the Expo East show floor with Paul Bellantone, the world traveler, I might add. So thanks for taking a few minutes.
Welcome to Expo East. Welcome to Atlantic City. I hope you've had a great first day.
It's been awesome. I love Expo East. I was out, by the way, on the boardwalk doing the 5K.
Well, I know some people who can tell personal experience. Watch out for the seagulls.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be good. Now, so much great things are happening in the industry, and I love Expo East and appreciate the opportunity to be out here. Could you give us a little overview of what's happening in the industry? It feels kind of upbeat to me.
Well, actually, we are about to launch some research in the next couple of weeks, our 2013 Distributor Business Survey, and the results were actually a lot more positive than even I had expected, and I tend to be positive about the industry. Yeah. I thought we were going to come in at about 4.5%, 5% in 2013. The numbers are actually going to show growth of our industry by about 7%. Wow. And I think that's terrific. And I'm talking to people on the show floor, and they're optimistic. So maybe it's just reflective of something that hasn't caught up to me yet.
Right. Wow. Now, this morning, I was out doing the 5K, so I apologize for not being here for the announcement of ISS and Expo East merging. And being an apparel decorator, as you know, I love ISS. I used to do education there. Could you comment a little bit about what's happening next year for these shows?
Absolutely. I think to really think about the ISS, we have to go backwards 2 years. 2 years ago, we created this Expo East relationship, a collaboration with SAGNY, where we took the best of Promotions East and we took the best of the PPAI Expo in Las Vegas and we combined them into one event. Our goal was to reach members that we haven't been reaching, to let SAGNY have their resources to serve members, PPAI use our resources to serve our members without adding an additional show in the industry. We thought that was important. The show's improved. We've grown the show over the past 2 years. Next year is the next evolution of Expo East. We are actually going to be co-locating the show with the Imprinted Sportswear Show, ISS. As you know, apparel represents about 30% of our industry, and many of the decorators on the ISS side are actually promotional products distributors. So we think it's a win-win for both organizations. We think it's going to help build compelling relevance for Expo East. And so far, we're really excited with what we've been hearing.
Right, I've heard very positive things, and again, coming from apparel, I think it's going to be great. Has there been any pushback or any concerns about doing it?
You know what, there's been both positives and some concerns that we've heard. On the positive side, I think that our distributors like it because they want educated competitors. So these decorators that are coming into our industry, we'll push them into PPAI education, we'll teach them about our industry, we'll teach them how to go to market, and you know that when you have educated competitors, everybody benefits. On the supplier side, they're real excited because then you have people who are actually going to be looking at their product and selling their product. So from that side, all positive. Interestingly, the biggest concern that we had heard so far, the date change from April to March. And we recognize that there's always an opportunity for bad weather on the East Coast, and I understand that challenge, but ISS has been here for 30 years and they've never had to cancel a show. And I can remember, Jeff, and you've probably been there, back in Dallas in 2001, where we had a debilitating ice storm. And I think a show in Alabama, a regional show in Alabama this year, actually had bad weather in April that canceled the show. So while I recognize there's always that risk, I think that there's a greater risk of us not doing anything to help keep Expo East vibrant and growing.
Right. I think it's going to be awesome. Now, a couple other questions. There are concerns in the industry about changing distribution models, suppliers selling direct, distributors buying direct, all those types of things. And there's been cries for PPAI and ASI to be the industry police. And what's your take on that?
Well, I'll let ASI speak for ASI. I'll speak for the trade association of the organization. One, we understand the challenge. So we don't put our focus on looking at that challenge, except to say, let's help our members find ways to add value to their role in the channel of distribution. So that is always first and foremost. What PPAI can do and can do legally, is we can ask any prospective members to prove to us, and we do make them prove to us, that they've sold through the distribution channel, through the supplier distributed distribution channel. What PPAI cannot do is demand exclusivity to the channel. And in those cases, we expect our members to be transparent. If a distributor goes direct on some things and buys through our channel, I think that their supplier has the right to know that. And likewise, if a supplier has a direct line and they sell through our channel, I think the distributor has to know that. So I think when we can all add value to the channel, this becomes a non-issue, right? And actually, the 7% growth that we had last year was only growth through our channel. So there's plenty of room for people to do business in this industry as long as they're providing value. But at the end of the day, to me, it's about education and becoming more valuable, and it's about transparency in the marketplace. You want to know how your customers and your partners are going to market.
Right, and just touching on education, because I think this is a key. I believe we should be more focused on building our businesses by taking advantage of education classes, building up value of certification and so forth. And that's going to make for a better distributor rather than being so concerned about these distribution models.
I agree, Jeff. I go back to it. Education adds value to things that people are picking up in the education sessions. And you've taught in the industry before. You know that these are tried and true practices that help people create value with their customers. So if the supplier has a valuable value proposition and the distributor has a compelling value proposition, the channel works. The channel has worked for hundreds of years, and I believe it's got a future.
Right, and I attended 2 great education sessions here.
Which was your favorite?
Content marketing,
Okay.
with the gal from Quintan. You know, because I'm a content and marketing guy. I am so anti stuff. I believe we provide value by sharing relevant content, and so I thought she was great. And also T. Hamilton and Amanda Corey on artwork.
You can't go wrong with those two.
Oh yeah, exactly. I still need to learn more, but
Two wonderful personalities, two incredibly gifted artists, and I love both T and Amanda. I'm glad you got to see their sessions.
Yeah, it was great. So just in closing, what's new and exciting that you'd like to share what's going on with PPAI? And keep in mind, it's not 60 minutes. No, I know there's a lot going on.
I'll share what, we talk about adding value. So one of the things that the association does to add value is to create compelling research that customers, both suppliers and distributors, can put in front of their customers. We have 2 new studies. One was released in 2013, one we just released weeks ago, that talk about the influence of promotional products on consumers. And then we have another study that talks about why the buyers of promotional products, the marketers, the agencies, are purchasing them and the triggers for those purchases and the value that they're finding in them. Members, non-members can go to www.ppai.org, look under the research tab, pull that information out, put it into their presentation, and talk about the compelling value of promotional products. We have, we track against 14 other media, you know that, and we are number 8 with a bullet. There's probably only 1 or 2 other medias that have grown 7%. The reason is that our media allows somebody to say thank you when you give it to them. None of the other 13 do that. So I think that if you take that research and you put it to work, you create value with your customers, everybody wins.
Right. Well, thanks so much for sharing. It's been great, and I know you're like such the world traveler. Where are you going next?
Home. I'm going to go home, and I'm going to see my family.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you again for sharing.
Thanks, Jeff.